Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim has been sworn in as Malaysia's 10th Prime Minister, breaking 5 days of political deadlock that embroiled the country in the wake of GE15. He took his oath of office before the Yang di-Pertuan Agong at Istana Negara on Thursday, November 24, 2022 at 5 p.m. The ceremony broadcasted live on national television. Anwar was a two-term opposition leader from 2008 to 2015 and 2020 to 2022. He is taking over as Premier from Barisan Nasional's Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob, who held the position since August 2021. Through his official Twitter account, Ismail Sabri congratulated Anwar on his appointment. In his first press conference as Prime Minister, Anwar spoke about forming a unity government made of Pakatan Harapan, BN, Gabungan Parti Sarawak and supported by MPs from Warisan, Muda and Parti Bangsa Malaysia. He also did not rule out the possibility that other parties may also join his government. He spoke about putting the economy first, ensuring the welfare of the rakyat, and reiterates that he won't compromise when it comes to matters of corruption. He also announced that he will not take the PM's salary and that Monday will be a public holiday. He ended his press conference with his familiar battle cry of Reformasi. Anwar is taking over at a crucial time in Malaysia's history, her economy battered from COVID-19 and political uncertainty, compounded by the spectre of inflation haunting her people and clouding the country's prospects. Economists feel that his unity government will steer the country towards better political stability, which would allow the country to progress further as well as attract foreign investments. The Agong had consented to appoint Anwar as PM following the conclusion of the Conference of Rulers, said the palace in a statement issued earlier today. His Majesty had said that political parties should work together again for the future of the beloved country, as the winners did not win everything and the losers did not lose everything. Sime Darby saw its first quarter FY23 net profit decline by 12% year-on-year due to weakening consumer sentiment in China, higher finance costs and loss from discontinuing operations as it completed the sale of Weifang Port in November. However, this was partly offset by higher profits from the Malaysian and Australia-Asian operations. Net profit for the quarter fell to 207 million from 236 million a year ago, despite an improvement in revenue by 14.5% to 12.18 billion ringgit. Group CEO Datuk Jeffrey Salim Davidson acknowledges that FY23 will be difficult going, but says that Sime Darby is confident that it will weather the storm. He says for its motors division, Sime Darby will continue to deliver the backlog of orders in Malaysia until the third quarter of FY23. Jeffrey adds that it also recently secured the BYD distributorship for Malaysia, which he says will bring excitement to the market. For the group's industrial division, Jeffrey says products and services supporting the mining sector are expected to perform well in FY23, with a backlog of maintenance work coming in and bullish commodity prices supporting the sector. He says that Sime Darby will continue to invest to grow its sales network for both the motors and industrial businesses, as well as actively exploring merger and acquisition opportunities to extend its core business's reach. Both Genting Malaysia and Mothership Genting returned to the black for the third quarter, buoyed by the return of tourists as borders reopened and gaming revenue rebounded. Genting Malaysia reported a net profit of 11.4 million for the quarter, compared with a net loss of 289.2 million that had been posted in the third quarter of FY21. Revenue grew by a whopping 175% year-on-year to 2.27 billion ringgit. According to Genting Malaysia, its leisure and hospitality operations in Malaysia recorded a revenue of 1.4 billion as compared with a revenue of 17.7 million in the third quarter of FY21. This was primarily driven by the strong recovery in overall business volume registered at Resorts World Genting, helped by the launch of the new Genting Skyworld theme park. Going forward, Genting Malaysia says that it is cautiously optimistic on the near-term outlook of the leisure and hospitality industry and remains positive in the longer term. Genting Malaysia acknowledges that global economic conditions are expected to remain challenging, with a subdued outlook for major economies as concerns over recessionary and inflationary pressures, tightening monetary policies and geopolitical tensions persist. As such, Genting Malaysia says it will continue to place emphasis on operational resilience and cost discipline. Genting Malaysia's earnings helped to lift Genting's numbers, with the parent reporting a net profit of 128 million compared with a net loss of 344.6 million the year before. Quarterly revenue climbed climbed 75% year-on-year to 6.12 billion ringgit. Also helping was better numbers from its plantation segment as revenue increased on the back of higher sales volume despite lower selling prices. Pharmaniaga saw its third quarter net profit drop a precipitous 83% year-on-year to 8.62 million on lower sales as the country enters into the endemic phase. Revenue for the quarter under review dropped 56.6% year-on-year to 924.7 million from 2.13 billion as sales softened for its concession segment due to the timing of orders from the Ministry of Health. This was partially offset by higher revenue from its other segments, including non-concession and Pharmaniaga's Indonesia business. Despite the softer numbers, the pharma player still declared a third interim dividend of 0.6 cent per share. In a statement to the bourse, Pharmaniaga said it remains cautiously optimistic of its performance in 2022, considering the current volatile global climate. On the local front, the group says it is focusing to leverage its business portfolio in the private market that has registered revenue growth of 57% quarter-on-quarter and 55% year-on-year. In addition, Pharmaniaga expects its concession business to continue to register a growth of around 8% this year as additional products have been added by MOH into the approved products purchase list. The group also said its Indonesia business continues to be the main growth driver, propelled by enhanced operational efficiency and digitalization, with an ongoing stock optimization exercise, aggressive collection efforts, as well as an increased product portfolio. Lotte Chemical Titan Holdings has declared a special single-tier dividend of 13.98 cent per share for FY22 out of the retained earnings intended to reward its shareholders. The special dividend is payable on December 29th. LCT President and CEO Park Hyun Chol says the special dividend will amount to a total dividend payout of 318.4 million, which translates into a current yield of 9.58%. Moving forward, Park says the group will continue to focus on its growth and expansion in Indonesia through the Line project. He says it will serve as the key expansion driver for the company, with the aim of further solidifying its position as one of the largest petrochemical companies in the Southeast Asia region once it is completed in 2025. Last month, LCT posted a net loss of 355.5 million for its third quarter, compared with a net profit of 48.48 million that was posted the year before, despite revenue improving. LCT attributed the wider quarterly loss to the decline of its margin spread of 26%, write-down of inventories to net realizable value of 71.9 million, and the share of loss from previously profitable associate Lotte Chemical USA.